Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am Deja B. I want to say thank you to my subscribers, and those that have been watching. Today I will be sharing the 5 haunted stories. And like always, I will try to post new content 1 to 2 times a week. So, if you're a fan of creepy, scary and history stories, I believe I have it here. With all that said, sit back, relax, and stay away from those dark corners. Thank you.
Bachelor's Grove Cemetery. In the outskirts of Chicago, there lay an abandoned cemetery known as Bachelor's Grove. This cemetery, dating back to around 1840, was the final resting place for about 200 souls until the early 1960s. However, it was not the peaceful sanctuary one might expect. Over the years, it had been subjected to considerable vandalism, and only a small fraction of the original markers remained. The cemetery was named after the Bachelor family, early pioneers who later moved south. It was nestled in a stand of timber that poked out from the sea of prairie met by the first settlers. But the tranquility of this place was marred by tales of the supernatural, making it a hotspot for recreational ghost hunters and aficionados. One of the most chilling tales was that of a man and his horse. According to local legends, they drowned in the nearby lake in the 1870s after the horse mysteriously charged into the water without reason. Some say that the apparition of the man and his horse, often seen as a malformed figure, is the source of rumors about a two-headed monster residing in the lake. Another ghostly figure often reported was the caretaker of Bachelor's Grove Cemetery. Legend states that a house once existed near the cemetery, and the father of the house felt an obligation to the land. He was often seen walking the nighttime path outside the graveyard, sometimes holding a lantern. Many have claimed to see his shadow, and some even an older man. Despite the eerie tales and ghostly sightings, the true ghosts of Bachelor's Grove, according to some, are not the spectral figures that have given the cemetery its haunted reputation. They are the memories of the departed, the echoes of the past, and the stories that have been woven into the fabric of this place. Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, with its deep roots in the settling of one of the United States' largest cities, continues to be a place of fascination and fear. Its chilling shared accounts of ghostly women, moving headstones, and strange lights have cemented its reputation as an exceptionally haunted location. Yet, amidst the ghost stories and legends, there is a call for respect for this sacred ground, a resting place for the departed. The haunting at Eastern State Penitentiary. Once a formidable fortress of stone and steel, Eastern State Penitentiary loomed over the city of Philadelphia like a dark specter. From its inception in 1829 until its closure in 1971, the prison earned a reputation for being a place of harsh discipline and isolation. However, as the years passed, whispers of something far more sinister began to circulate within its cold, echoing halls. The tales of hauntings at Eastern State Penitentiary began to surface soon after its closure. As the prison lay abandoned, the once imposing cell blocks echoed with the ghostly remnants of the tortured souls who had been confined within its walls. Visitors spoke of strange sounds, disembodied whispers, and chilling apparitions that seemed to materialize out of thin air. One fateful night, a group of adventurous friends decided to explore the decaying remains of Eastern State Penitentiary, seeking the thrill of encountering the supernatural. As they stepped through the rusting gates and into the gloomy interior, an eerie silence enveloped them. The air hung heavy with the weight of the prison's dark history. They ventured into the cell blocks, their footsteps echoing through the desolate corridors. The oppressive atmosphere seemed to press in on them, and a sense of unease settled over the group. As they approached cell block 12, the infamous punishment block, a sudden drop in temperature sent shivers down their spines. In the dim light, the friends caught glimpses of shadowy figures moving in the corners of their vision. Whispers filled the air, indistinct murmurs that seemed to tell tales of suffering and despair. The bravest among them called out, attempting to communicate with the unseen entities that haunted Eastern State Penitentiary. As they reached the crumbling remains of the prison hospital, the air grew thick with a palpable malevolence. A sudden gust of wind extinguished their flashlights, plunging them into total darkness. Panic set in as they fumbled to relight their sources of illumination, but the shadows seemed to close in around them. In the silence that followed, a distant clank echoed through the prison, the sound of phantom footsteps marching in lockstep. The friends, now gripped by terror, stumbled over debris in their desperate attempt to escape the spectral presence that surrounded them. Finally reaching the exit, they burst out into the cold night, breathless and shaken. The haunted stories of Eastern State Penitentiary had become a harrowing reality for those who dared to venture into its forsaken depths. The prison's tormented spirits, it seemed, refused to be forgotten, forever etching their ghostly imprints on the decaying walls of a place that had once been a house of suffering. The Myrtles Plantation. Deep in the heart of Louisiana, nestled beneath the sprawling branches of ancient oaks, the Myrtles Plantation stood as a silent witness to centuries of history and the lingering spirits that refused to fade away. Built in 1796, the Myrtles Plantation started out as a piece of land purchased by David Bradford, a general of the American Revolutionary War. Here, he built a house and named the place Laurel Grove. This grand southern estate bore witness to love, tragedy, and the passage of time, earning its reputation as one of the most haunted places in America. One moonlit evening, a group of friends embarked on a daring adventure to explore the legends that surrounded the Myrtles Plantation. Excitement mingled with trepidation as they approached the grand white columns and imposing facade of the antebellum mansion. Tales of ghostly apparitions and unexplained phenomena had drawn them here, and they were determined to uncover the truth. As they entered the opulent foyer, the air seemed to thicken with history, and the scent of magnolia blossoms hung in the air. A guide led the group through the lavishly decorated rooms, recounting the plantation's storied past. The echoes of a tragic love affair, tales of vengeful spirits, and the spectral figure of a young girl named Chloe captured their imaginations. They reached the infamous Chloe's room, where the tragic tale unfolded. Chloe, a slave on the plantation, had suffered a fate worse than death after an ill-fated attempt to gain favor with her master. Legend spoke of her ghostly presence wandering the halls, forever seeking redemption. In the dim light, the friends felt an unexplainable chill as they explored the rooms where apparitions were said to appear. Suddenly, a faint melody filled the air, a haunting piano tune that seemed to emanate from an unseen source. The group exchanged nervous glances, their skepticism waning as the ethereal music surrounded them. As they ventured into the plantation's expansive gardens, the moon cast an eerie glow over the ancient oak trees. Shadows danced on the grounds, and the laughter of long-gone revelers echoed through the night. The group stumbled upon the plantation's old cemetery, where moss-covered gravestones bore witness to the passage of time. Just as they were about to leave, a hushed voice whispered through the stillness. Chloe's apparition materialized before them, her spectral form bathed in moonlight. The friends stood in awe and fear as Chloe's eyes locked with theirs, a silent plea for understanding and forgiveness. In that haunting moment, the friends realized that the Myrtles Plantation was more than just a collection of ghostly tales, it was a place where the past and present coexisted in a delicate dance. The spirits of those who had lived and died on the plantation lingered, forever bound to the land and the stories etched into its very soul. As the group left the Myrtles Plantation, the echoes of history and the ethereal melodies followed them into the night, leaving an indelible mark on their memories and a deep respect for the spirits that called the plantation home.
Before we continue, if you like what you have heard so far, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel, and join the family. Thank you. And let's continue.
The Victoria's Black Swan Inn. Nestled along the meandering curves of the San Antonio River, Victoria's Black Swan Inn stood as a silent witness to a history steeped in both charm and chilling tales. The quaint inn, dating back to the 19th century, exuded an air of southern elegance that belied the ghostly mysteries hidden within its walls. In the late 1980s, a group of friends with a penchant for the paranormal decided to spend a night at Victoria's Black Swan Inn. Drawn by the rumors of ghostly encounters, they arrived with a mix of excitement and trepidation, unaware of the spectral presence that awaited them. The inn's history was rich and complex, with architectural details that spoke of a bygone era. The original structure had once served as a private residence before being transformed into a hospital during the Civil War. Over the years, it had changed hands multiple times, each owner leaving behind a piece of their own legacy. As the friends settled into their rooms, they couldn't escape the feeling of being watched. Whispers of disembodied voices and unexplained footsteps echoed through the hallways, heightening the tension. In room 007, guests reported the sensation of an unseen hand brushing against their skin, leaving a chill that lingered long after. The inn's basement, with its low ceilings and dim lighting, became the focal point of the friends' investigation. Legend spoke of a former owner, a woman named Margaret Gething, who had died tragically in the basement. Visitors claimed to have encountered her ghost, a spectral figure in a flowing white gown. Armed with cameras and EVP recorders, the group delved into the mysteries of Victoria's Black Swan Inn. In the darkness, shadows seemed to dance along the walls, and strange orbs appeared in photographs, hinting at the presence of unseen entities. As the night wore on, the group gathered in the inn's Victorian-inspired parlor, sharing their experiences and comparing notes. Suddenly, the antique chandelier above them swayed gently, as if stirred by an invisible hand. The room's temperature plummeted, and a feeling of unease settled over the group. In the early hours of the morning, a distant piano melody drifted through the inn, its haunting notes resonating through the quiet corridors. No living soul could be traced as the source, leaving the friends with a sense of awe and bewilderment. As dawn broke over San Antonio, the group reluctantly left Victoria's Black Swan Inn, forever marked by the ghostly encounters they had experienced. The inn, with its elegant facade and storied past, remained a haven for both history and hauntings, its mysteries continuing to captivate those who dared to uncover the secrets hidden within its timeless walls. The Villisca, Iowa murder. The small town of Villisca, Iowa, nestled beneath a canopy of whispering trees, held a dark secret that echoed through the decades. The year was 1912, and the Moore family, along with two young guests, settled into their modest home, unaware that the quaint walls of their residence would bear witness to one of the most notorious and haunting crimes in American history. On a fateful summer night, the Moore family and their guests were brutally murdered with an axe in their sleep. The peaceful town of Villisca was forever scarred by the gruesome crime, and the Moore house became an eerie reminder of a tragedy that still lingered in the shadows. Years later, a group of paranormal investigators embarked on a journey to uncover the mysteries of the Villisca Axe murder house. Armed with cameras, digital recorders, and a palpable sense of trepidation, they stepped through the creaking doorway into a place frozen in time. The air inside the house felt heavy with the weight of sorrow, and the investigators couldn't shake the feeling of being watched as they explored the rooms where the Moore family once lived. The furniture, though covered in dust, seemed frozen in the ordinary routines of daily life, a stark contrast to the lingering specter of violence. The group ventured into the small attic, where the killer had hidden before descending upon the unsuspecting victims. It was here that the investigators reported unexplained cold spots and an overwhelming feeling of dread. The atmosphere seemed to thicken as they listened intently, hoping to capture any whispers from the other side. As night fell, the investigators gathered in the children's bedroom, the very place where the Moore children met their tragic end. The flickering candlelight cast eerie shadows on the walls as the group conducted a séance, attempting to communicate with the spirits that were said to roam the house. Suddenly, the temperature in the room dropped, and a hushed voice seemed to echo through the darkness. The investigators, on edge, captured chilling EVP, electronic voice phenomena, recordings that suggested otherworldly entities were attempting to communicate from beyond the veil. In the early hours of the morning, the investigators left the Villisca Axe murder house, haunted by the chilling experiences they had encountered. The house, with its weathered exterior and peeling paint, held the lingering energy of a crime that had never been fully solved. The spirits of the Moore family and their guests seemed to wander the halls, forever trapped in a limbo between life and death, leaving the Villisca Axe murder house shrouded in a ghostly legacy that continues to send shivers down the spines of those who dare to step through its haunted threshold.
Thank you all for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below. Thanks.